Hare Krishna. Can you hear my voice? Am I audible? Is my voice audible? Okay, let's start. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Parishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much for joining today's session. We have been discussing from the eighth chapter. We did complete the eighth chapter of the fifth canto yesterday. The chapter is titled as Bharat Maharaj becomes a deer. And we decided that we will recap this chapter. And there were a lot of leftover question and answers from yesterday. So we will continue with that. And then maybe towards the end, if we have extra time, we will start a new chapter. But if not, we will clear the questions backlog today after we do complete the recap of this chapter. So we saw uh, Bharat Maharaj one day he performed his daily rites and he was sitting on the bank of the river and he was performing his worship of the Supreme Lord. And at that point of time, a female deer came. She was drinking water. She was pregnant, and suddenly she heard the sound of a roar of a lion. And out of fear, she gave birth to the child which fell on the water. And Bharat Maharaj rescued that. And gradually, over a period of time, he became attached to that deer. And slowly, slowly, he started neglecting his own spiritual practices uh, and gradually how much he got attached to that deer is shown in great detail. And this was all orchestrated by Krishna, as we saw yesterday. And we saw that one should not say that this is the nature of even though Krishna wants to use his um, perfected devotees even to teach lessons to ordinary sadhakas or sometimes even ordinary karma yogis. Uh, so he puts them in such situation there where they seem to act exactly like an ordinary karma yogi or an ordinary materialistic person, but under the influence of Yogamaya. So similarly, in the case of Bharat Maharaj also, you know, he's doing this just to show to sadhakas, don't be very careful, because sometimes even a seemingly very noble pious act, when you become attached to it, can become an obstacle to progressing on the path of bhakti. He wanted to show this through Bharat Maharaj getting attracted to the deer. And we saw that uh, we had a few discussions on this theme, on this topic. We had a few sub discussions. One is Krishna uses his devotees, uh, perfected devotees, to show this, to teach, because they are completely surrendered to Krishna and they can exactly act according to the script. They are not acting according to their adhikar. Okay. They are not acting according to their qualifications. So they are acting according to the script. So that way, if Krishna says act exactly like a karma yogi, they would act exactly like a karma yogi. If he says act exactly like a materialist, they would act exactly like a materialist. So when the perfected devotees are executing the script of Krishna rather than acting according to their adhikar, such activities should especially be seen only through the eyes of the acharyas. We were discussing this last time. Okay. Such activities should be seen only through the eyes of the acharyas. Otherwise, one should not use one's own uh, regular material logic to evaluate the statements of the scriptures, like we saw in the case of this particular episode of Bharat Maharaj. One should not use this episode to evaluate the nature of Bhava Bhakti or a Bhava Bhakta, where even a Bhava Bhakta can eventually fall down and get attracted to ordinary material dear. One cannot come to such conclusions because that is not the nature of Bhava Bhakti. Okay. So this episode cannot be used to understand the nature of Bhava Bhakti. Okay. So, uh, so that is the point. And you see, otherwise you will see lot of discrepancies. The Shastras are filled with discrepancies, apparent discrepancies. You know, Mahabharat describing that um, you know, the chariot wheel of Yudhishthir Maharaj going down because he spoke a lie. Okay. But the understand, because there they are playing the role of, the script is act like a dharmic person. And you see the same Yudhishthir Maharaj in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, there is a description of Yudhishthir Maharaj sitting along with all his ministers discussing, you know, somehow we want Krishna here. Okay. Not because they wanted Krishna for their own protection, but they wanted Krishna because they were attached to Krishna in a very, as a devotee. So, so they thought that okay, what should we do? What lie can we say? Can we say that the enemies are threatening us or something like that, or can we say that we have this ailment, that ailment? What kind of lie we can speak to convince Krishna to stay back in Hastinapur? This is their discussion, and that meeting is headed by Yudhishthir Maharaj. And that meeting headed by Yudhishthir Maharaj, what is the theme? What lie we can tell to convince Krishna to stay back? Talking so much about Yudhishthir Maharaj never speaking a lie, always acting according to dharma. This is the example. Okay. And also Mahabharat discusses about the Pandavas walking towards the hellish planets. Okay. Why? Because that is the script. Otherwise, how can perfected devotee, what to speak of perfected devotee? Even a sadhaka who has once chanted the holy name of Krishna can never go to hell. And this is directly from the mouth of Yamaraj. Jihvana Bhakti Bhagavad Gunanamadeyam Chetaschana Smrati Tat Charanaravindam Krishnaya no Namati Yat Shiraye Kadapi Tanana Yadvam Asato Akrita Vishnu Krityan. This he says. So there is no question of even a sadhaka who has once started the practice of bhakti, eternally he will never go to hell. This is the verdict of Yamaraj himself. This is the standing instruction that Yamaraj has given to the Yamadutas, that you shall not touch such people and they should not be brought here. They don't belong here. If that be the case, how could perfected devotees, the Pandavas, go there? Because that is what Krishna wrote in the script. So, similarly, uh, so otherwise you cannot use those explanations, use those descriptions in Mahabharata to say, look, even perfected devotees can go to hell. Even Pandavas went to hell, or Pandavas went to heaven. Okay. So now, that's why those kind of episode, actually unless we know clearly, uh, unless we know clearly the Bhakti Siddhanta, uh, and how can we clearly know the Bhakti Siddhanta? Only if we are constantly illuminated by the explanation of the Acharyas. Very difficult. There are so many discrepancies in the Shastras. There are so many discrepancies, apparent discrepancies in the Shastras. Pandavas going to hell, Arjuna getting bewildered, Bharat Maharaj getting attached to the deer, all of that. Dhruva Maharaj becoming angry. So, if you take the pastimes themselves and come to a conclusion which is apasiddhantik, uh, so generally, when perfected devotees are involved and their actions are contradicting, okay, they could be acting according to the will of the Lord. Maybe it is a scripted play. Okay, it is a scripted play. They're playing. They're acting according to the script that is given to them. That is not their. They are not acting according to their natural nature. That we have to understand very clearly. So that's why we said that this cannot be used to evaluate the what is the nature of a bhava bhakta. Can a bhava bhakta also fall down from that particular state? One cannot come to such conclusions. It is not possible because this is not according to the conclusions of the Bhakti Shastras. Anyways, so Bharat Maharaj got very much attracted and he was lamenting when the deer would go away here and there. All of that is in great detail described to indicate the depth of his attachment to the deer. Okay. And then what happened that Bharat Maharaj gave up his life. Right when he was giving up his life, um, okay, so here is right. Uh, so here the word Swarabdha Karmana came. Hmm? His heart afflicted by unfulfilled desire, Bharata fell from his practice of yoga. He fell from his detachment from the material enjoyment which was achieved by bhakti, and he fell even from his worship of the Lord. How? Swarabdha Karmana. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Swarabdha Karmana is Su-arabdha Karmana. Su-arabdha Karmana means by the Lord's special arrangement of Prarabdha Karma. By the Lord's special arrangement of Prarabdha Karma through the appearance of the young deer. How else could he develop attachment for the young deer if it was not orchestrated, specially orchestrated by the Supreme Lord? It is not possible for a person of that caliber to get attracted to a mere deer. It is not possible at all. Okay. So, while Bharata had previously rejected his own sons as an obstacle to the highest goal, so how is it possible that he can get attracted to a deer? And who now produce an obstacle to to his practice of yoga? He forgot himself by petting, showing affection for protecting and nourishing the young deer. And at that time, inevitable death with great speed approached him just as a snake approaches a mouse hole. So, very landmark purport. Okay. Landmark purport. We will quickly go over the purport. We had already seen this yesterday, but today also we will just quickly discuss this. He says, he fell from his position in yoga and worship of the Lord by the influence of karmas of this life, which manifested a small deer to him. So then, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti says that Prarabdha karma is of two types, auspicious and inauspicious. The first type occurs by the will of the Lord to increase his longing for devotion to the Lord, like a sharp ointment applied to the eyes. Okay. And this is accepted favorably by the devotee. Being similar to Prarabdha karma, it is accepted as such. It looks like Prarabdha karma, but it is not Prarabdha karma. How do you know? That which creates more intense bhakti in the future takes place in those who already possess rati or bhava. So in the case of Bharat Maharaj, he already possessed rati or bhava, and in him, uh, this kind of that which looked like prarabdha karma manifested only to increase his bhakti in future. Especially when you would take the form of a deer, the deer would show more extraordinary devotion than even Bharat Maharaj. And the second type of prarabdha karma consists of results of actions of previous lifetimes, which manifest later as absorption in material life. So in this verse, the first type is indicated by the prefix su, as in su arabdha karmana, swarabdha karmana. So he fell from his austerity of rejecting material enjoyment, which was produced by his bhakti yoga. Okay. Even though bhakti does not have great obstacles, he fell from the worship of the Lord by the will of the Lord. By the will of the Lord, he fell down. How else could he fall except by prarabdha karma arranged by the will of the Lord? He had already given up his sons. Or he fell by the semblance of karma in the form of the deer. Even though the Jivan Muktas do not have any false identity, they have a semblance of false identity. Similarly, those who have developed rati do not have prarabdha karma, but have semblance of prarabdha karma. Or he fell down because of the inferior form through auspicious prarabdha karma. Su arabdha karmana. So under the influence of his good prarabdha karma, Bharata took care of the deer. Otherwise, if there had been no good prarabdha karma as arranged by Krishna, he would not have a desire to care for the deer. That is not possible unless orchestrated by Krishna himself. So Bharata's fall, however, was arranged by the Lord for the purpose of increasing his longing for bhakti after taking birth as a deer and a brahmana. And the Lord has told to the gopis that the reason that I do not immediately reciprocate the affection of living beings, even when they worship me, is just I want to intensify their loving devotion. So that was the purpose. Okay. Anyways, so seeing the deer while he was on his deathbed, the deer was sitting right next to him and lamenting, just like his son. And he was absorbed in thinking of that deer. And after the death, with the loss of death of his body, without loss of memory of his previous life, he attained the body of a deer as if undergoing karma. Itaravat mrigashariram avapa. Itaravat. Just like Itaravat means yam yam vapi sparan bhavam tejatyante kalevaram. Just like a person who would think of some material thing or something like that, or material object, material people, relationships, etc. He takes a birth again. A male becomes a female becomes a male. If they are thinking about their husband or wife, itaravat. So just like an ordinary person, he takes birth as according to his meditation at the time of death. Similarly, Bharat Maharaj took uh, birth again. Bharat Maharaj took birth again as um, he took birth again as a deer because he was thinking of the deer, Itaravat. But that Itaravat principle, that principle does not apply to uh, it does not apply to devotees. What to speak of a perfected devotee, like almost perfected devotee like Bharat Maharaj? It does not apply to devotees. Okay. It does not apply to devotees because नेहा विक्रमनाशोस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. So that principle actually apply. That principle actually applies to devotees. So human birth is guaranteed. Where is the question? Human birth is guaranteed for a person who has just started, bhakti. Then how can a person at the stage of bhava take the birth of an animal, it is impossible. It is impossible. So itaravat. And also you see, uh, he did not lose the memory of his past birth. And this is very rare, unless it is orchestrated by Krishna. Generally, mrityu sarva haraschaham. By mrityu, it takes away everything connected to the previous body, that remembrance and everything is gone. So, hmm. So by the influence of his worship of the Lord, he could remember the cause of becoming a deer in this life, and he was greatly repentant, and he spoke as follows. He said, "Oh, I have fallen from the path of the great devotees into a miserable condition. I, being intelligent, had renounced." So as a deer, he is lamenting like this. Oh, I became foolishly absorbed in this young deer, and I fell down, even though I was worshipping the Supreme Lord nicely. Uh, Becoming so disgusted, he gave up his dear mother, his dear relatives, I mean, DEER relatives, and eventually went to the Pulaha ashram, and he spent time with the great sages who were discussing Krishna Katha there, and he would stand there and hear Krishna Katha from them. So in that place, waiting for his death and greatly disturbed by bad association, uh, so he was just waiting for his death, and finally that time of death came, and he gave up his body. So um, this is where we ended our discussion. And as I promised yesterday, uh, there are many unanswered questions and some leftover backlog questions from the previous chapter, from this chapter. So before moving on to the ninth chapter, I said we will first spend time clearing the backlogs, and then we will move on to the ninth chapter. So those of you who have unanswered questions from yesterday, day before yesterday, or whenever from this chapter, we can take it right now. Yes. Uh, Sachi Pranam.
Haribol Guruji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble. Guruji,
Dandavat.
Prabhupada has mentioned in this chapter about Bharat Maharaj. He was mentioning that Bharat Maharaj willingly accepted, willingly got diverted or get attached to that deer because he
Mhm,
wanted to intensify his devotion. Because at the stage of bhava, it is
mhm.
quite impossible for anyone to get distracted.
Yeah.
So Prabhupada was mentioning that point, and here Vishnu Chakra Thakur was mentioning that it is Lord's arrangement. So how
Yeah.
to reconcile it means basically Lord desire means devotee knows what Lord is having that desire. So is it to
Mhm.
understood that ki Bharat Maharaj understanding the desire of the Lord, he got willingly distracted.
Yeah. I mean, willingly, matlab, there is a generic willingness in the devotees that whatever the Lord wants, I will do.
Mm.
Okay. And the Lord also knows that he is willing, but he will not, according to his natural nature, he will not get attracted to a deer. His nature is to get attracted to me only. So, through the Yogamaya potency, understanding that this devotee is willing to surrender to me, but at the same time, I will not put him under too much distress by pushing him against his nature. So, he covers his true nature through Yogamaya and makes him act exactly like a materially attached person to accomplish particular things. So when he says that Bharat Maharaj willingly got attracted, it means that willingness should be understood in the sense of uh, a generic willingness to always be surrendered to Krishna and act according to the will of Krishna. Uh, Even though sometimes, so in this case, he's acting uncharacteristic to his nature. It's not that Krishna came and told in the ears of Bharat Maharaj that I want you to get attracted to this deer. Not exactly like that. But understanding that here is a flexible, malleable personality who is willing to execute whatever desire I have, Krishna, through the agency of Yogamaya, covers his true nature and makes him act as if like a materially attached person. Like that. That is how we should understand.
Hmm. Hey, the lesson usually we quote the for the pastimes of Bharat Maharaj, we usually quote that key even at the stage of bhava, any person get distracted. So a person who is already crossed the stage of anartha nivritti and he become the practicing at the, almost reaching to the prema stage. So that stage also there is a possibility of such attachments. This is not
No,
not
that's
not
what
for
we
attachment.
discussed, right? That's what we discussed. That
Yes,
that is an incorrect conclusion, and we should not come to that conclusion.
So in Prabhupada purport, when I read Prabhupada purport, I understood that okay, it is not exactly Bharat Maharaj, uh, fall from the stage. It is Lord's desire. That's
Yeah,
why he willingly accepted the will of the Lord.
yeah, yeah.
That's true, na
But
Guru?
um, it's not like Bharat Maharaj will think that exactly that, oh, Krishna, uh, you know, wants me to get attracted to the deer, so I will act as if I am getting attracted to the deer. It's not like that.
Mm,
So there is a generic willingness for such devotees to act only for the pleasure of Krishna, and
mm,
Krishna understanding that, oh, here is a person who genuinely wants to do whatever I want, but I will not put him under great trouble by forcing him to act according to his nature.
mm,
So, through the agency of through the agency of Yogamaya, I will cover his nature and make him act exactly like an ordinary materialistic person. So
mm,
that way, for a short while, for it was just for a few days that
mm.
Bharat Maharaj got attracted to the deer. Just like it was just for a few minutes that Parikshit Maharaj got covered by that Yoga Maya and he acted like that to Shamik Rishi. And immediately after that, he returned back to his original nature.
Correct.
Similarly, it was just for a few days that Bharat Maharaj got attracted to the deer, gave up his practice and all that, and gave up his body. And then immediately, as in a deer's body, he remembered everything. He, you know, he he became intensely attracted to Krishna
Correct.
and then perfected his life.
Yeah. Prajay, in the point also Prabhupada mentioned this point, actually what you mentioned just now, ki, to intensify uh, his own bhakti to the mature stage, Bharat Maharaj willingly accepted that. So sometimes in the when we see some devotees apparently fall down, so we should understand that context like it's Krishna want to intensify his bhakti or so that he has to again take it very seriously that
That
Maya is being strong.
that could be one of the reasons. That could be one of the reasons. We will have to basically um, look out for the explanation of the acharyas to see how they are explaining that particular pastime.
Mm. Thank you.
Correct. Mother Gail. Mother Gail. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with her. I thought she raised her hands, but she's. You will have to unmute yourself to speak. Okay. Keshapriya Mataji.
Narration, Prabhuji, just a small thing, Prabhuji. Just now we read, Prabhuji, Bharat Maharaj could have had various reasons, Acharya quotes. One among them is it's a semblance of prarabdha karma. Even for a devotee in Rati, have a semblance of prarabdha karma. What actually that word means, Prabhuji?
I mean, it looks like semblance of prarabdha karma means it looks like prarabdha karma,
Hmm.
which they have to spend and uh, you know your actions give particular reactions. Okay, so it looked like his attraction for the deer was born out of his whatever the way he had spent his life before. So, but uh, so he acted just like a ordinary materialistic person getting attracted to a deer and things like that. So it looked like that, but it was not. So that's why the prefix su is used to indicate su arabdha karmana, which means an auspicious prarabdha karma, which was facilitated by Krishna himself.
So it will look like that, but that is not that is called semblance, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, and one more thing about you are telling an example, Yudhishthira Maharaj telling a lie, all those things, Prabhuji, and you are telling that pure devotees they act by script of the Lord, Prabhuji. These Pandavas and all those people, eternal associates, we see, Prabhuji. So they'll be always having the role of Pandava. I mean, they'll be Yudhishthira means that he'll be a Yudhishthira there also, Prabhuji. Like, why I'm asking this? For us, Prabhuji, we take various roles depending upon our karma. And I mean, we as a soul, we are put in various bodies now, Prabhuji. But these eternal associates, I mean, what I'm trying to understand is already we are acting under the script of the Lord, and so there is another script within that, or they are just eternally they are Yudhishthira, Pandava, they will be the same person, Prabhuji, not like us.
Yeah, the personality will be the same. The same person. Yudhishthira is an eternal form. Arjuna is an eternal form. These are eternal associates. They have eternal forms. But when they, under particular conditions, under Yoga Maya, they will act in ways which are uncharacteristic of their adhikar. Like Lord Shiva getting attracted to Mohini Murti, or Parikshit Maharaj garlanding Shamika Rishi, or Arjuna getting totally bewildered and asking very, very basic questions, which led to Bhagavad Gita. So those are places where you will see their actions uncharacteristic of their adhikar. So when such actions, one should understand that, okay, Krishna is using them to accomplish particular things, particular jobs that Krishna wants to accomplish, like that.
Prabhuji, the present day pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas who came down here, they have a different form than the original eternal form, no, Prabhuji. They would have been in some other form there. So all these things also scripture of the Lord, Prabhuji. I mean, he only gave the script and asked them to come here. Is it like that, Prabhuji? The present form, like Prabhupada born in that Calcutta and Bhakti Thakur born here, Bhatinath Thakur born here in some family. It
It is
looks
all
like they were.
orchestrated by Krishna.
But their eternal form is different, Prabhuji. I mean, they will
Well,
not be like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Thakur, Prabhupada in spiritual world.
In Krishna Leela, they will have a different form. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, those who are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and this is confirmed by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur also, that the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they will have two forms. One in Goloka Vrindavan as an associate of Krishna, and one in Shvetadvip as an associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So definitely Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Kamala Manjari, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, Nayana Mani Manjari, and similarly Prabhupada would have a form which is different from Srila Prabhupada's form in the Leela of Krishna in Gokula. But in the case of whether in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, they will have the same form, or maybe they will have a form of an associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where probably, I don't know. But definitely in Krishna Leela, they will have a form which is different. In Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, of course, Rupa Goswami will be Rupa Goswami only. Sanatan Goswami, those forms are eternal. Whether of our contemporary acharyas forms, they will have the same form in the Nitya Siddha contemporary acharyas. whether they will have the same form in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. I am not very sure. I am not very sure about that. Yeah.
Truji, so someone, sadhaka like us, at least in one lifetime, if we get perfected, then we also will have two forms, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you,
both
Prabhuji.
forms will be different.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm just trying to understand, because that orchestration of Krishna already started with the birth itself, no? So again, every activity is also personally controlled by him. That was my doubt, but somehow I got clear now, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Every activity means for us, our situations are orchestrated by Krishna for sadhakas. But in the case of perfected devotees, situations are definitely orchestrated by Krishna. Sometimes when they act, generally they act according to their nature, which is in love with Krishna. But sometimes they may act according to which may be different from their nature. Under such cases, when Krishna wants to use them, as an instrument to teach lessons for someone else or teach lesson to the whole world or some part of the world, Krishna may use them like that. Krishna, so that is what I meant by, uh, acting according to a particular script, like that. Yes, Shivakumar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavad Pranams, Prabhu.
Dandavad Prabhu.
So, Prabhu, yesterday we stopped at that point where I was bringing up that 1129, Prabhu. In the purport, it was given as devotees who are engaged full time in the devotional service of the Lord. And those can neglect the Vedic principles and duties. So I just wanted to know, Prabhu, how do we kind of understand if that's the eligibility which is given?
Okay, let us go to the verse.
Yes.
Okay, and see what is mentioned there and try to understand. Okay. So that is the best way of addressing. So it is 11.29.
Prabhu. Tavat karmani.
11.20.
Kurvita.
Yeah, 11.20.9. Okay, no, not this. I'll go here so that we can read both commentaries. 11.20.9. Okay. I will just zoom it a little bit and share the screen. Okay. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeta yavata matkata shravanadauva shraddha yavanna jayate. Okay. Srila Prabhupada's disciples' translation. As long as one is not satiated by fruitive activity and has not awakened his taste for devotional service by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, one has to act according to the regulative principles of Vedic injunctions. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti's translation. As long as one does not become detached from daily and periodic duties or has not awakened his faith in hearing topics about me, one must perform one's prescribed duties of Varnashrama. So detachment from daily and periodic duties is the qualification for jnana. And awakening faith in hearing topics about me is qualification for bhakti. Okay. Now, I will first read Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary because that is the first thing that is coming here. Later, we will go to the purport also. Okay. So, it is natural that the overly attached jiva is qualified for karma. When will he become qualified for jnana and bhakti? He says, he should perform his daily and periodic duties, nitya naimittika karma, As long as he has not purified his heart by karmas means by performing varnashrama duties or by performing nishkama karma yoga, when his heart becomes pure, and as long as he has not purified his heart and not become detached, he has to perform. Okay. Thus, when he becomes detached, he becomes qualified for jnana. This was stated in verse 7. Verse 7 was Nirvinnon Jnana Yogo, Jnana Yoginam. That verse, the qualification for jnana. Or, the most important word here is or. Either or. Means either you have to have qualification for jnana or you should have qualification for bhakti. Or he should continue his karmas until faith in topics of the Lord arises by sudden mercy of devotees. Is that clear?
Yes, bro. This is clear.
Yeah. Before that faith, he's not telling very serious devotional qualifications, he says faith. Before that faith, he was qualified only for karma. When faith appears, he's not talking about very strong faith. He says when faith appears, as explained in the previous verse, he becomes qualified only for bhakti and is no longer qualified for karma. So now he says this faith should be exclusive, which means anya bilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyanavruta shraddha. The person has firm faith that he will reach perfection by hearing about the Lord and not by karma or jnana. All that he needs is faith that bhakti alone is good enough. I don't have to perform karma or jnana. And how this arises? This arises only by association with pure devotees. It is said, Shruti Smriti Mamaivagnya Yaste Ullangya Vartate Agnya Chedi Mamadveshi Madbhaktopina Vaishnava. This is the Purvapaksha argument. People say, Are, what does the Lord himself say? The Lord says, the Shruti and Smriti literatures are to be understood as my injunctions, and one who violates such codes is to be understood as violating my will and thus opposing me. Although such a person may claim to be my devotee, he is not actually a Vaishnava. So Krishna says, one who violates my rules in the Shruti and Smriti scriptures, even though he may be worshipping me, but I don't consider him to be a Vaishnava. He says like that. Now, the question is, but you say that the devotees do not follow the Varnashrama rules which are actually given in the Shruti and Smriti scriptures. So, but here clearly Krishna says that if you don't do, I don't consider you as a Vaishnava. So, are devotees who are not taking care of their Varnashrama responsibilities or Varnashrama duties, does Krishna consider them as Vaishnavas or not? So he says, so the Purvapaksha argumentator says, thus the devotee does not disobey the Lord's order. Sorry. So this is the explanation. Thus the devotee does not disobey the Lord's order. Rather, when he develops faith, he will never disobey the orders of the Lord. Okay. Some persons say that even if he does not obtain the mercy of great devotees and consequently does not develop that faith, on seeing the excellence of other devotees, not great devotees, he gives up karma and takes up worship of the Lord following his orders. This is another explanation. And others say that since Shruti and Smriti recommend bhakti and not varnashrama, a person understanding this takes to bhakti even if he does not meet the greatest devotees, for the Lord says, Agnyayaivam gunan doshan mayadishtan apiswakan dharman santyajya yassarvam mam bhajet satu sattamaha. So he says that a devotee understands the importance of performing varnashrama. And the devotee also understands that by not performing varnashrama, what are the problems? But still, after understanding all of that, what does he do? Dharman santyajya yas sarvan. Sarvadharman parityajya. He gives it up. And mam bhajet. And he worships me. Why? because it is the Lord's order. Just like Varnashrama is the Lord's order for those who have Karma Nishta, to engage in Bhakti is the Lord's order for those who have Bhakti Nishta. He says, wow, Lord's order should not be neglected. And just like the Karma Yogis are perfectly following the Lord's order, um, to perform the Varnashrama duties. Similarly, I should follow the Lord's order for me, which is to perfectly follow Bhakti. Okay. So devotees may think that since they are devotees following purely, it is not necessarily to follow injunctions and prohibitions in Shruti and Smriti, such as vows like Ekadashi and forbidden acts like putting coconut water in a bell metal vessel, or putting yogurt or milk in a copper vessel, or eating the Lord's offerings before offering to the Lord. Okay. So he says that devotees should not think that it is not necessary for them to follow the injunctions of Shruti and Smriti. Just that they should know which injunctions of Shruti and Smriti are applicable to them and which is not. Like, for example, he should not think that I don't have to follow the vow of Ekadashi. That he has to follow, because that is an injunction which is given for devotee. Okay. Like that. And you cannot perform forbidden acts like putting coconut water in a bell metal, or because it becomes poisonous and it becomes unofferable to the Supreme Lord. Okay. Or putting yogurt or milk in a copper vessel, it becomes poisonous and it becomes unofferable to the Supreme Lord. Or eating the Lord's offerings before offering to the Lord, then it is not prasadam, right? So those rules have to be followed by the devotee. However, understanding that the Shruti and Smriti are the Lord's order, they should follow, they should follow those instructions. Some pure devotees in the eastern provinces, because of the pressure from karmis with which they have close contact, may perform karmas, but this is not actually performance of karma, because it is done without faith in those acts. The Lord says, Ashraddaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asaditi uchyate partha nachatat pretyanoiha. O son of Pratha, whatever is offered in the fire, whatever is given in charity, whatever is undertaken as austerity, but which is done without faith, is called as asat, since it bears no result now or in the next life. So this is the explanation of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Is that clear?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, now let's read the purport. Unless one has developed firm faith in Lord Krishna by association with pure devotees and is thus engaged full time in the devotional service of the Lord, one should not neglect ordinary Vedic principles and duties, as stated by the Lord himself. So here you have your explanation is firm faith and engaged full time. Okay. You are taking the meaning full time as those who are staying in temple and engaging full time. So here my understanding of full time, if you take that understanding in line with the explanation of the Purvacharyas, full time means one whose faith is full time in bhakti. Okay, one whose faith is full time in bhakti and not only part time in bhakti and part time in karma jnana, etc. Okay, so this firm faith, okay, talking about firm faith, in this firm faith comes in Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kohe Sudrida Nischay Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita. Okay, so that definition of Shraddha comes there. He says Shraddha means firm faith, Sudrida Nischay, firm conviction that just by performing Krishna Bhakti everything is accomplished. I don't have to do anything else. So now you may say, look, here it clearly says firm faith. Okay. So we don't have firm faith. A beginner does not have firm faith. So therefore, he should be doing all these other karma, jnana, etc. But interestingly, people read only that much. If you read the subsequent verses, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, after defining faith as firm conviction, He says there are three types of people who possess faith. Shraddhavan Jana hai Bhakti Adhikari, Uttama Madhyama Kanishta Shraddha Anusari, he says. He says that there are Bhakti Adhikari means one who has faith, this faith. And there are three categories of people who possess this faith. Who are they? He says, Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttama. He says, Shraddha Anusari. All three are Shraddhavan, he says. All three possess Shraddha. You know, the Sudrida Nischay Shraddha, all three have. Okay. But they are three different categories. And who is the Kanishta Adhikari? He says, Yobavet Komala Shraddha sa Kanishto Nigadyate. One who has Komala Shraddha, very weak faith. Okay. One who has very weak faith, he is Kanishta Adhikari. But in defining faith, he said, Sudrida Nischay, firm conviction. Okay. So now these are absolutely contradictory. While defining faith, he says firm conviction. And while defining Kanishta Adhikari, he says Kanishta Adhikari has that faith, but it is weak. Okay. This seems to be contradictory. So the reconciliation is that their firm means it is pure. It is not weakened by karma, jnana, yoga, etc. Okay. And here it is weak means that pure faith is weak. That is how you understand. Okay. So full time, what is the meaning of full time? Okay. So when you see your family, see, this is a very distorted understanding of bhakti, where you say that a householder taking care of his family is not bhakti, whereas a brahmachari staying in the temple and taking care of the deities is only full-time bhakti. It is not like that. Because most of the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were all householders. They were all householders. So it depends on how you approach. Okay. There are devotees who are staying in, brahmacharis staying in the ashram and taking care of construction, not just construction of temple. Some are engaged in construction of, some accounts building. So you may say, yeah, accounts building, but they are taking care of Krishna's accounts. Okay. And oh no, they are taking care of, they are building a house. They are building houses for devotees to stay. Yeah. So, but it is house for the devotee. So now, why does it have to be any different for a householder staying and his family members are also devotees or potential devotees? Even in the temple, you are engaged in making arrangements for devotees and potential devotees also. When you are cooking prasadam, for Janmashtami, 99% people who come and take that prasadam are potential devotees. They are not devotees. Okay. So then why can't your family members who may be potential devotees or already devotees, with that mentality, if a householder is taking care of his duties, why is that not bhakti? Okay. So this kind of a skewed understanding of what constitutes bhakti leads to problems actually. So then people start telling that, it is, by, one should, then people think that, I should engage full time in bhakti and neglect my family, as if taking care of family is not a part of bhakti. It is very much a very integral part of bhakti. Otherwise, it will happen like the other day we were discussing, the example of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Two of his disciples were criticizing Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. They said, Arey, we came here to do Akhanda Bhajan, Akhanda Harinam, 24 hours chant. But in the association of we thought that this Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was a very great Mahabhagavat devotee. So we came here, but he is most of the time engaging us in watering the garden, watering the vegetable plants, plucking the vegetables, cooking and all that. He is not allowing us to chant all the time. And they started criticizing Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj only. Okay. So why? Because they had a very skewed understanding of what constitutes bhakti. Okay. And Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj thought that at this stage, these people are not ready to sit and chant throughout the day. They have to learn to engage their senses in the service of Krishna. So therefore, what happens? You do see people neglecting their families completely, prematurely, considering it to be an outright materialistic activity, and eventually suffering. And much later realizing that it was a mistake. But by then the bonds have been broken. So therefore, one should understand, that Krishna conscious family life is a very wholesome thing. It is not like some part of it is material and some part of it is spiritual. It is all spiritual. It's all there in the consciousness. You can have a full-time devotee staying in temple, outright, having an outright materialistic mentality, completely selfish. So it's not like those who are staying in the temple are necessarily very, very consciousness-wise very renounced. It is not at all necessary. It does not depend on external things. Many of them, very likely, many of them means a statistically significant percentage of them might have just run away from, not wanting to deal with material responsibilities. Okay. So you never know. You have all kinds of people. When I say statistically significant, I really mean it. There is a statistically significant percentage of people who are just in the ashram. Probably, not that they don't have Krishna consciousness. They want to serve Krishna, but the primary reason why they chose to serve Krishna in that particular way was they just wanted to run away from responsibilities. And some of them came for the right reasons, and but eventually over a period of time realized that they are not cut out for that, but then it's too late by then. They're old and they cannot get married and things like that. So they end up staying there, just pulling on. So therefore, can you find any one purport of Srila Prabhupada where he says that, Krishna conscious family life, the progress will be very less. Sometimes Prabhupada does say he has recommended some of his disciples to stay as a brahmachari. That is what is best for you. But many of the other of his disciples, he himself got them married. So therefore, this kind of this thing that a particular ashram is most favorable for you cannot say like that. This classic Panchatantra story, right? A jackal invited a crane for feast. Okay. And it served the crane with some sweet rice on a flat plate. Okay. On a flat plate. And the jackal also had his own part of the feast on the flat plate. And using his tongue, he licked it, and he ate it very nicely. But the crane could not eat because it has a long beak. And with a long beak, how it can eat from a flat plate? Okay. So Jackal thought, oh, the best thing, the best way of serving, the most convenient way of serving is in a flat plate, because that is what for him. Then the next day, the crane invited the jackal for a feast. The crane served him nice sweet rice in a long necked pot. Okay, in a long necked pot. So the crane dipped its beak, the long beak inside that pot and sucked out all the sweet rice. The jackal, what will it do? It cannot put its tongue or neck inside the pot. It will get stuck inside the pot. So the point is, one has to see the principle is actually, anukulyasya sankalpo pratikulyasya varjanam. Whatever is anukul for one's own practice of bhakti, one should accept. Okay. And whatever is unfavorable, one should reject. So, and what is favorable, unfavorable depends on individual person. Okay. So, it just boils down to compatibility rather than set rules. That, okay, this ashram is bhakti ashram. This ashram is bhakti pratikula ashram. You will never see any writings of the acharyas who present it like that. In fact, so yatsat sarvatra sarvada. Bhakti can be performed by anyone at all places. It just boils down to, according to their individual situation, what is most convenient or what is most favorable for them.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the detailed and brilliant explanation. Thank you so much. This is a lot helpful, Prabhu. Prabhu, just few points that I wanted to share, Prabhu. I was kind of thinking about this also. I had some reflections. I just wanted to run it through with you. So when I think about this, I myself had some reflection, Prabhu, but I'm still validating with you. Generally, we say that a sadhaka should not try to imitate a Mahabhagavata, right? In terms of transgressing some mundane rules or even bhakti rules. A Mahabhagavata can transgress. He is above it, and a sadhaka cannot imitate. So I was thinking on those lines. Maybe my point of comparison was wrong. That if my surrender is not full ripen, and if my faith is not that strong, me trying to bypass the Vedic principles and injunctions would be.
Let's one thing. Vedic, no one is transgressing Vedic injunctions. The point is, Vedic injunctions are according to one's adhikar. So karma adhikar, specific injunctions. Jnana adhikar, specific injunctions. Bhakti adhikar, specific injunctions. Everyone follows the Vedic injunctions, but according to their situation.
Okay.
So who is talking about transgressing Vedic injunctions? No one is transgressing Vedic injunctions. Just that we say, if you have a fever and you take paracetamol, I know you don't take, but still, okay, let's say for example, if you have fever and you take paracetamol, and if I have some other ailment, I have hurt my knee, should I also take paracetamol?
No, Prabhu.
So you will say, no, hey, you are not taking paracetamol. Are you against medical science? Are you again? I am not against medical science. Just that paracetamol is not the right medicine for my ailment. You have an ailment, you have fever. For you take you take paracetamol. For me, I have hurt my knee. My knee is bleeding. So I'll have to put some Dettol and wash it and put some soframycin cream. Paracetamol does not work for me. So we are not talking about the see.
So, Prabhu,
this is a very kind of oversimplified, diluted understanding that Vedic means Varnashram. No,
Prabhu, one question. Sorry, Prabhu. Sorry to interrupt, Prabhu. This is where I have one question, Prabhu. I'm not trying to argue or something. I'm just trying to understand. Now, I understand in the adhikar for karma, jnana yogis and bhakti yogis are different, but within the bhakti, right, Prabhu? Why is that a Sri Vaishnavite Sampradaya has an opinion and a Gaudiya Vaishnava has an opinion? And why is it coming down to individual lineage and acharyas within the realm of bhakti also?
Correct. Okay. So now this is a very valid point. Okay. This is a very valid point. So now, if I have to come from Mambalam to your house. Okay. I can take a bus and come. If I take a bus and come, it will not come via Tambaram railway station. I can take a train and come. If I take a train and come, I will have to essentially come to Tambaram railway station, get down and take another bus or auto and come to your place. Okay. So these are two different routes and to the same destination. Okay. In one destination, Tambaram railway station comes. And in another destination, Tambaram railway station does not come. Okay. So, so the point is that you can choose one. Both are bona fide ways of reaching. Okay. So, and so in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, they are also trying to attain Vaikunta, but the Varnashrama duties are favorable for developing Aishwarya Bhakti.
Okay.
But it is not favorable for Vraja Bhakti. So someone, see, it all boils down to, it may happen that someone is very much attracted to Varnashrama already. And they are okay with either, the goal as Goloka or Vaikuntha. It does not really matter. If someone is like that, better choose Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Okay. But if you are attached to a particular goal, okay, then you will have to choose, So in our Sampradaya, that regulation is brought through, even though the acharyas have come to preach Raganuga Bhakti, but understanding that it can be prematurely taken and prematurely practiced, so they emphasized on Vaidi sadhana rather than Varnashrama. So that regulation in other Sampradayas, especially the South Indian two Sampradayas, that was brought through Varnashrama. But in our Sampradaya, it is through Vaidi sadhana before Raganuga sadhana. So that Varnashrama principles are favorable for developing an awe and reverence mode of bhakti. So for that flavor, it is very good. Okay. For that flavor, it is very good. Okay. But for the flavor that we are aspiring for, it is not good. So it is just like, you can make upma with suji and you can make kesari with suji. Okay. So both are suji items only. But for upma, you put salt, and for kesari, you put sugar. Okay. So you cannot ask why he is putting salt and you are putting sugar. Why there should be a difference? Because he is making upma and here kesari is being made. So four sampradayas are bona fide does not necessarily mean the end product is exactly the same also. Why I am telling this? Because I gave the example of reaching your home through bus and train. At least in that case, the end destination is the same. But that analogy is not complete also. That's why I'm telling. Here the end product is also not the same. Completely. Okay. So even though in one sense you say, how does it matter? Both people are, if you take escaping the material world, then the Jnana yogis, Karma yogis, the Jnana yogis, Ashtanga yogis, Bhakti yogis all fall within the same category. No difference. By any practice, you will escape the material world. If ultimately your aim is to escape the material world, it doesn't really matter. You can practice Jnana, you can practice Ashtanga, you can practice Bhakti. it does not really matter.
Mm-hmm.
So now if someone says that, no, my purpose is not just to escape the material world. My purpose is to actually go to the spiritual world. Then in one sense, it does not, okay, then you cannot practice jnana or ashtanga. Then you have to at least practice pradhani bhuta bhakti. You may have some elements of karma jnana or yoga, but it has to be predominantly bhakti. So now you say, no. My aim is not just to go to the spiritual world. My aim is to have a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. Oh, if that is the case, then you have to practice only Shuddha Bhakti. And you can practice Shuddha Bhakti in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, you can practice Shuddha Bhakti in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, any of the Sampradayas. No problem. So I say, no. My aim is not just to get prema. My aim is to get prema for Krishna in Vrindavan. Oh, then you have to follow only the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya and they're following. Okay. So certain things. So therefore, ultimately, so in one sense, there is the same, all Sampradayas are bona fide same. They are giving the same thing. But in another sense, they are not giving the same thing. Both are giving Bhagavad Prasad. But one Sampradaya is giving Kesari, another Sampradaya is giving Upma. For Upma, salt is compatible. For Kesari, salt is not compatible. So you cannot whitewash everything and say everyone is giving the same thing. So whatever they give, everything should be the same only. It is not like that. That kind of a difference, that kind of, you may say that, okay, Gaudiya Vaishnava is later came. Okay. At least the older Sampradayas, they must have exactly same practices. But it is not. You take the Madhva Sampradaya practices and Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya practices, there are many differences. There are many differences. Actually, you will see in the Madhva practices, within Udupi temple, only within the Udupi temple, main temple premises only, there are demigod, Sannadhis are there. Sri Vaishnava would say, I would rather give up my life, but I will never step into a demigod temple. Okay. Even if a murderer is running after me, if the only shelter is to get into a demigod temple to save myself from that murderer, I would rather die in the hands of the murderer, but I will not get into the demigod temple. This is the Sri Vaishnava stance. They say, they call themselves Veera Vaishnavas. We are Veera Vaishnavas. We will never get into that. But you will see in the Madhva practices, it is right there inside the premises of Udupi Krishna temple. On one side you have, Ganapati, and another side, different demigods are there. Okay. So to think that in all bona fide sampradayas, all practices will be exactly same is a very unreasonable thing. And there are many things that they will accept and the other persons will not accept. It's a very naive understanding, actually. So these are things which we should know, that why Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya emphasizes the importance of Varnashrama, because it is favorable for that particular flavor of end result that they are aspiring for. Why we are not? Because it is not favorable.
Okay. Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you for the time and detailed explanation, Prabhu. Thank you so much. This is helpful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Let's see some things in the chat box. Srila Prabhupada leads an example of being a wonderful devotee in Grastha and Bhaktivinoda Thakur also. Yeah. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur showed an example of an excellent devotee in Brahmacharya. Yeah, correct. This purport given can be very misleading. Firm, full-time words. Yeah, it can be misleading. See, Whenever, if you take an individual purport and try to understand, it can always be misleading unless you understand the whole picture and the whole, always one should have a bird's eye view of the whole philosophy. And then with that bird's eye view, one should zoom in and try to understand. But if the bird's eye view is not there, you keep zooming in, zooming in, zooming in. It is like reading a newspaper through, reading a newspaper through a keyhole, you know, reading the newspaper through a keyhole. What you can read? You can read individual letters A, B, C, D, E, F, or maybe if the keyhole is big enough, you may be able to read individual words. And then you come like that. But you are reading the individual words, but you will not get the greater picture. Okay. So this is not my own example. This is not my own analogy. This is Shamanand Prabhu's analogy. He gives this analogy. It is like reading a newspaper through a keyhole. You know, what you will read. Okay. So therefore, individual purports and individual words in the purport can be misleading if you don't have the bird's eye view of the greater teachings. Okay, then we will be stuck up with individual words and individual phrases and in individual purports. So, we cannot afford to read the scriptures with a keyhole mentality. I will read. Today this verse says, this purport says. They say, wow, full time. Yes, full time. Here the word full time comes. So which means full time means what? In ISKCON, we say full-time devotee means temple-staying devotee. So now, how do you know Prabhupada or Prabhupada's disciples are in this particular purport use the word full-time in that context only? How do you know? Right? So that is why, unless we have a bird's eye view of the whole philosophy, you just keep on zooming into one thing, and only in zoom mode, if we keep reading the scriptures, then we'll not be able to reconcile differences. We will not be able to reconcile the differences. Yes, Keshav Priyamataji.
Prabhuji, first of all, thank you so much for this clear explanation. I have heard this at least 100 times from you, but every time when we hear from you, every time it's getting conviction is getting better, but still the doubts are lingering. We don't know why. Prabhuji, one understanding from what you explained is a jiva in this material world has three choice, Prabhuji. Either he can follow his mind's instructions to live just by which is just a past life impression, or he can take up dharma shastras, which guide us to live the same material life in a better guided way, and we can have some fruitful result. Or he can follow a bhakti shastra where he can totally leave this world and serve the lordship in spiritual world. These three choices are only there for all jivas, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
So, so some of us or most of us would have taken the second choice of living dharmically in this material world, Prabhuji. And now, after coming and meeting a devotee, the third choice is open to us, Prabhuji. So all this anxiety of uh, we should not leave that, it's all because of our past impressions, Prabhuji. In many lifetimes, we have been stuck with the dharmic uh, things.
Yeah,
That is
it
why
is
we are
two
getting.
things. It is two things. One is due to our past attraction to that particular dharma, and the second is because of an incomplete understanding of what exactly constitutes bhakti.
Oh.
That's a more serious problem. People think bhakti means only Shravan Kirtanam and taking care of family and all comes under ordinary material duties or varnashrama duties. Like that, that kind of a very unhealthy partitioning happens where they give there is a very incomplete understanding of bhakti. So therefore they say that, so householders should not give up varnashrama, as if, taking care of family is actually varnashrama and it is not within bhakti. Okay. So, and then when you say varnashrama, then immediately then you will have to bring in the dharma shastras and other things and everything. So rather, one should have a holistic understanding of what constitutes bhakti. I would strongly recommend that devotees read Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhaktya Loka. So in that, he very beautifully describes how this particular principle is applicable to householders, how this particular principles of Atyahara, Prayasa, etc., it is applicable to those who are not householders who have embraced the renounced order of life. Okay. So it's very difficult, very beautifully described. So, so when people have a very short-sighted understanding of what exactly constitutes bhakti, then it leads to these kind of issues that no, prematurely they are giving up varnashram. No, what varnashram? Matlab, so when they say, because when this kind of statements, what it means, what they mean actually is the person thought bhakti means only Shravanam Kirtanam, and we have to do pure bhakti means we should give up all kinds of material engagements which involves taking care of family, taking care of our profession and all that. But that is not the right understanding. That is not outside the purview of pure devotional service. That also falls within the purview of pure devotional service. But when there is when there is a very short-sighted understanding of it, then it creates a problem.
Yeah, right, relieving to us, Prabhuji, being Grihastha. Prabhuji, then the Dharma Shastra and Bhakti Shastra shares many terminology in common. Is that because of that confusion also arises, Prabhuji?
Yeah, yes. Some of the terminologies are common. That also leads to a lot of misconceptions. And yeah.
So, as I said, Prabhuji, either we can be atheist and just follow our mind or become, we believe in Shastra and follow Dharma, follow Bhakti, Prabhuji. It all depends upon the individual choice, but once made a choice.
No, it's not individual choice. It is adhikar. If you are fortunate enough to come in touch with devotees and receive that seed, then you will accept the Bhakti Shastras.
Yeah, Prabhuji, even after that, it is my choice, na Prabhuji. I may hear from a devotee, but
yeah,
I may choose to stay here, or I can just go away, na Prabhuji. Always our choice is also there, na Prabhuji.
Yeah, choice is there. Choice is there. But generally, if you have a particular adhikar, you are more prone to making that choice.
Oh, like that.
So it's not like suddenly. Otherwise, how is it that practically everyone who has taken up to bhakti has, even though sometimes here and there they may talk about Dharma Shastras, but mostly they read Bhakti Shastras only. How is it? That's because that attraction is also stimulated by that particular adhikar only.
So adhikar means that person has already decided to follow that Shastra, like that Prabhuji, that word adhikar, adhikar, karma adhikar, bhakti adhikar means.
Yeah, decided because he is convinced that this is what I should be doing.
Prabhuji, in that case, someone has taken up bhakti adhikar, some faith he has taken, Prabhuji, and he is doing. And as you always say that because of conditioning, someone may move away, but definitely he will come to bhakti adhikar again, Prabhuji, if that condition goes off.
If it is just conditioning, then yes, as long as he has good association, he will come back.
Oh, okay. So once, association of devotees and getting that faith is the key point here, Prabhuji. Once we get that and try to follow devotees, we are safe then, Prabhuji. Not much bothered about our conditioning here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay. How to understand Srila Prabhupada's instructions to institute Varnashrama and often quoted unfinished 50%. Okay. I will share. I have spoken extensively on this. I will share some, whatever recordings are there, I will share, because whatever Prabhupada wanted to institute, one should very clearly understand that it must be in line with the teachings of the Purvacharyas. So with that premise, I will definitely share whatever my understanding is on this, but I won't use this forum because we have discussed this hundreds of times. I will just share the recordings, and interested devotees can hear those recordings. Okay. So if there are no further discussion points, comments, or questions, we will pause here and continue. Let's start directly with the 9th chapter tomorrow. No recap, no questions. Directly we'll start with the 9th chapter tomorrow and then take it from there. So thank you all very much for your patient listening and your enthusiastic participation. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.